This video is going to help you to map out the facial proportions, which is what you need to do before you can actually start adding in those facial features. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to do the shape of the head, and it's going to be kind of an egg shape, an upside down egg shape. And then from there, we need to go ahead and put in some lines, some guidelines to help us map out where facial features will go. Remember that you need to draw as lightly as you possibly can because a lot of these lines will be erased. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put in my guidelines for where to split the face in halves, or in quarters, I guess. So halfway horizontally and halfway vertically. You can check those measurements to see if they're about halfway just by laying your pencil where the tip of the eraser hits the crown of the head and holding your finger where the middle line is, and then seeing that that's about the same down here. I'm a little bit off. It's a little bit longer, so I can go ahead and make that a little bit longer to match that it's halfway. And then I need to check my measurements of my horizontal line to see if that's about halfway. So I'm going to, again, line up my eraser, put my finger, line up my eraser, put my finger. That one's pretty good. All right, so that is my general guidelines, and then I'm going to start mapping out the actual facial features. So this is actually where my eyes are going to go. In the middle of your head is where your eyes go, not your nose. Because your eyes are halfway down your head, from the crown of your head, not your hairline, to the middle of your face is halfway. So, an interesting fact about your eyes is that your eyes are typically 5 eyes across your face. So if you're looking at someone head on, 5 eyes should fit across. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to try to map out, I'm going to try to turn this into fifths. So I'm just going to draw a line here, that should equal about 1 eye. I'm going to come in with my pencil and the eraser, and I'm going to map it out, which actually goes about to that green there. So I've mapped that out. I'm going to move over here, and I'm going to draw another line where that goes to. Now I might have done those a little big, so I'm going to need to adjust it, because you don't want the eyes to be too large or they'll be out of proportion. Proportion is the measurements to make sure everything is to scale, that the eyes aren't too big, that the nose isn't too big. So I'm going to come back in here, measure again, so from the eraser to about the bottom part of this green here, and I'm going to come over here and I'm going to add the line again. That's equal measurements, and I should be able to get 5 across. That's perfect on that side. I'm going to come over here, I'm going to add the measurement on this side, check it out again. That's pretty good. So my eyes are going to be going right here and right here. This is the area where my top of my nose, the bridge of my nose, is going to go. So the next thing we need to map out is we need to split this bottom portion of the face where the nose and the mouth go into about thirds. The nose is a little further than a third of the way down, so I'm just going to draw a little tick mark where I want the bottom of my nose to go. And then a little tick mark about another third of the way down where I want the bottom of my mouth to go. So you can check those measurements, put your pencil, map out. Need to move that one down just a little bit. Need to elongate the face again, it looks like. Move it up. Again, these lines will change depending on the person, so the distance could be less, the distance could be more a little bit, but these are general outlines. The next thing is where your ears are going to go. So your ears are typically from the bottom of your nose up around to where your eyebrows are. So if the bottom of my nose is here, I'm going to come over. And my ears are going to be about there. And the top of my ears is going to go about where my eyebrows are, which are going to be right up above my eyes here. So kind of like that. And then I'm going to come in, and your nose width is going to be about this distance of where your eyes are apart. So it's an eye width apart. So I can see that my nose is going to be this wide by that wide. Okay, so that's how wide my nose needs to be. The corners of your mouth are going to line up depending on who you're drawing, or the person you're drawing, or who, if it's you. It's gonna, usually the corner of your mouth will go to about where your pupil is, or maybe even the corner of your iris, the side of your iris, which is the colored part of your eye. So, knowing that the iris is in the center of my eye, I can calculate that my corner of my mouth is going to come out about in the middle of that eye positioning. So those are the edges of my mouth. And again, this is the bottom of my mouth. Now, we are going to work on putting in your eyebrows. So that's going to be, your eyebrow is actually from about the corner of your eye, the interior corner of your eye, right out to the exterior corner of your eye. So your eyebrow should be just a little, maybe a smidgen longer than your eye. Like that. So that's where my eyebrows are going to go. So eyes, this is the bottom of my nose. This is the bottom of my lips. When you're putting in a neck, you have to think about the person. You need to really look at what you're doing. As far as if it's more of a masculine person, it might be more of a straight neck, like this. If it's a female person, it might go curve in a little more. But again, no matter the gender, every person's neck and jawline and facial features is going to be a little bit different. So now I'm going to go ahead and time lapse the facial features so that you can see this turning into a portrait. Also with hairline, guys, remember that it's going to probably